as it goes through the different states here. So you're going to go, the states you're going to actually go through automatically after audited is it's going to be in process, meaning you're actually doing weatherization work on it. It's going to be in process inspection, which means some of the work is done, some of the work isn't done, some of the work is inspected. You're still kind of in process, but you're almost done. And then post-inspection is when everything is done and inspected and you've picked a funding source to pay for it all. That's when it goes post-inspection. And all those status changes are going to happen automatically for you as the system processes it. So now that we've actually done the audit, now what we want to do is input the priority audit information. And you do that by going down to this priority audit button right here. So we click on priority audit. And it's going to ask for a priority group. Right now, there's only one real priority group defined on the training system, which is a site-built home. You can see we have space right now for a mobile home, and then just for what we call other measures. If we have other types of priority lists, I do notice on the actual priority audit document, so I happen to have a copy of it here. On the actual priority list assessment form, there's actually some differences between a site-built and a manufactured home. So we may want to add, as another priority group here, a manufactured home, for example. But the idea here is this structure follows the structure of the assessment list fairly exactly. Now what we are going to do within these priority list items here that you find on the sheet, you actually find them on the priority list here also. So we have the same items here: air sealing and general heat waste is item number 1, attic insulation, sidewall, smart thermostat. These fields actually match the form. Okay. We did add an extra one, which isn't officially on the form as a list item, but is on the form, which is the health and safety checks that have to be done automatically. So this pretty much matches this. The other thing we're going to add, we learned from the previous class, is there's measures that aren't called out on the assessment form but are on the BCJOS. We're going to add those measures to the available measures that you can put in the system here. So what you do is you basically just, the idea of the priority audit list is you walk through this list and and call out the measures that the auditor has called off. So the first one is I go to health and safety. And in health and safety, I have 2 qualifications for right now for measures that I can add. I have heating and cooling measures, health and safety measures related to the heating and cooling system. So what I did here, let me back up again, is I said I have a site-built home. I'm going to go to my health and safety measures. Within health and safety, I have 2 groups that I can add measures in. The heating and cooling group and the CO test group. So the CO test group just allows me to record my carbon monoxide test results. It's not really a measure, it's just a place where you can record those values. Heating and cooling, I can actually add measures to a heating or cooling system, and I can have multiple heating and cooling systems. So right now I'm going to add a measure to the primary heating system here. I want to declare what type it is. It's a forced hot air heating system. The heating source is oil. The oil type is it's an electronic ignition. The heat rise in the vent system is, I don't know, I put 20 degrees in. So that basically gives me that. The efficiency comes off the heater. You know, there's usually a placard on the heater that says what its efficiency is, and that's where that number, the heater efficiency, comes in. You just take that would just come off the audit form again. And then this usage ratio is actually used as we move forward. We're going to actually be able to use the system to calculate the return on investment in the SIRs and everything of all of the weatherization measures. The system will actually do that, which makes the DOE very happy because we can actually say how much we're saving in terms of energy efficiency by doing these weatherizations. Before it was always kind of, we just guessed. We said if we did these measures, we'd save this much money. This will actually give you the ability to determine what you're actually saving.
Is this going to take away the MIA? No. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Will take away MIA.
Okay.
Replaces the BCJOS, but it won't replace MIA.
So, and we're not actually even using the energy utilization stuff yet. We'll use that once we start using the system, more heavily. We can start. But that's what the usage ratio is used for. So the usage ratio is, if this is the only heating source, the usage ratio is 1. If you get your heat 80% from oil and 20% from wood stove, you'd put 0.8 here for the oil, and then you make another entry for the wood stove at 0.2. So this is just a way to, again, when we're calculating energy efficiencies and things, to rate properly the heating source. So most cases, you're just going to leave it 1 because they just have one primary heating source. They have some small space heaters or some other things. They're not really a major heat source, so you don't really worry about them. So this is almost always just left 1. And so right here, so now I want to define my health and safety things. So maybe what I have to do right here is the oil tank has gone bad. So I've got to replace the oil tank here. That's going to be like, estimating it's $500. And it's one oil tank. I don't estimate any BTU savings or SIR simply because this is a health and safety. It's just the oil tank has started, it looks like it's going to leak or something, so I want to do that. And then you can put a comment down here like the something about to start leaking. So I put all that in, and then I come down here and I go ahead and save my measure. Okay. Save it. Then when I go back to my priority audit screen, I see that I have that one measure now. At health and safety, I have one measure, health and safety, unit cost of $500 on my priority audit list, my list of measures to install. Now, normally what I would do is I would stay at that particular level. I'll go back to that level again in heating and cooling. And I would just keep adding new measures. As I do this, so I could add another heating source or something like that if I wanted to, or cooling. But since this is my primary heating source, and that's all I've got, and I don't have a cooling source, I'm not going to do that. So. Now what I can do is go to the next step. So maybe that's my only health and safety measure. I go to my next step and say, this is air sealing and heat waves. The most common air sealing now is air infiltration via the infamous blower door directed air sealing. So what I'll start out with is doing that. So I go to air infiltration, and it basically asks me to give it some information about the initial test, the test before we did the weatherization measures. So what I do here is you put in that information. I did an open ring. Pressure in the house was 50. I'm doing a depressurization test. So I can say the pressure at the fan was, say, 45. And when I do that, the the system will automatically calculate